Good afternoon.
All the class is in this folder. So we just decide which one to open.
Distracted, then can we move this? इसको थोड़ा गलत आगे
Want to off?
नहीं इसको थोड़ा सा ये डिस्ट्रैक्ट कर रहा है
हाँ
तो व्यू में थोड़ा
up to you.
नहीं वो मैंने कहा सामने वाला आपके तरफ थोड़ा
No.
पानी मिलेगा
Pani.
बॉटल
There, bottle is there.
अच्छा
I give you the glass.
no of course I take myself no I just ask if anybody else wants water
You start working. Abaya.
We are having test.
Okay, I will remind her again.
We already learned teachers.
say again kaifa haluka kaifa haluka kaif means how hal means your condition and ka means you kaifa haluka means English, ya akhi, when you address somebody, not only akhi, you are addressing somebody, so in Arabic say ya akhi, if somebody is in front of you, and you say, oh my brother, ya akhi. So how many participants in general should be there or
Yes, sir.
just give me a for reference. أحمده وأصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العظيم. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بلغوا عني ولو آية أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه. رب زدنا علما سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. رب يسر ولا تؤسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين. Dear brothers and sisters, a very warm good afternoon and assalamu alaikum to all of you. Today our topic is some selected surahs or chapters from the Holy Quran, and then there are 3 surahs, so I selected one so that we can have a deep understanding of this surah with the different explanations from the Quran itself and also from some of the hadiths, means some of the sayings of our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, so that we can have a better understanding rather than we just skip a little bit, so that we will go into details of this chapter. So the topic that we have chosen to this surah chapter is the salvation in the light of Surah Al-Asr. Surah means chapter, and Al-Asr is the name of the chapter that we are going to discuss. If you have the copies of this English translation of the Holy Quran, everyone have this one? All of you have? Okay, then can you open page 472, the chapter number 103, the today's surah chapter. इसकी मुझे सब थोड़ी भय लगी आवाज़ हम कम कर सकते हैं ताकि अंदर So this is the topic and the discussion today, the chapter 103 on page 472. Chapter number 103. So if we have a look, actually this is the original text in Arabic that the chapter we are going to discuss. I read it again once for you so that you can have understanding. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wal Asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa allazina amanu wa amilus solihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. This is the original text and its recitation that I have just done before. You see the English translation of this surah or chapter that we are studying today. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the ever gracious. By the token of time through the ages, verily men are in a total loss, are in a total destruction. But there is one exception. Not all people, but these people are exempted from that total loss or total destruction. This is called the exceptional case. What is the exceptional case? Those people who fulfill these 4 requirements. So except those who have faith, the first and the foremost among these 4 components of their salvation, of their success, of their victory, is on the top is the faith, is the belief, firm belief. The second, and do righteous deeds, and join together in the mutual teaching of truth. This is the third one. And the fourth one is, and of patience and constancy. Means they stand steadfast. Page 472 is the topic today. Okay. So this was a just simple translation of the surah, of the chapter, Surah Al-Asr. That's called the time we have just read. Now, before we go further, I just give you 4 basic points about this surah. In the Holy Quran, there are some surahs that are short and there are some surahs that are long. I mean, in terms of their volume, not in terms of their meaning and understanding, but just as the volume, I mean the text and the length of the surahs, how many words are there or how many verses are there. So this surah actually is one of the shortest surahs of the Holy Quran. And it consists of only 3 verses. And if you go through the whole text of the Holy Quran, you will find this very interesting point that there are only 3 surahs that consist of 3 verses. And there are 114 chapters altogether in the Holy Quran. And there are 3 surahs in the Holy Quran which consist of only 3 verses. So this surah is one of those shortest surahs in the Holy Quran. And according to the revelation process, when the Quran was revealed, that is called the revelation order. We call it tartib-e-nuzuli, mean the revelation order. And then another one is that we see in our hands now the Holy Quran, that is the recitation order, how we read it. From first chapter, second, third, but it was not revealed like this. So this surah is actually in the earliest surahs. It was revealed to the Holy Prophet. And another third aspect of this surah is that the whole, the concept of iman or faith, or the way of salvation or the victory or the success of a believer is contained in this surah, that this message is spread all over the Holy Quran. So this is called one of the most comprehensive and concise surahs of the Holy Quran. The whole message that is for the whole mankind that is mentioned in the whole Holy Quran, it actually consists in this surah with the 4 basic points that I mentioned: faith, good deeds, and to do the preaching, mutual preaching of this truth, and mutual preaching of this patience and steadfast constancy. And then the 4th point is that the wording of these surahs are very simple and very easy to understand. Even a layman, even a common man, a general reader who just don't have the deep understanding of the Arabic grammar or Arabic knowledge, but if you just go through simple, just put at a glance simple, then he can grasp the basic idea, the basic understanding from this surah. And some of the Muslim scholars of Islam, they call it, if you want to give you an example, have you seen the tree? And tree have a seed itself. The whole tree actually of a mango like. It's actually contained in the seed of a mango. We cannot see it, but when it grows up, we can see it has a trunk, it has the branches, it has the flowers, and it has the fruits. But actually it's contained in the seed, actually everything. So this surah is the essence of the Holy Quran. And before we start further, then I give you one of the traditions of the companions of the Holy Prophet. We call it Sahaba-i-Kiram. What was their tradition and what was their practice? Whenever 2 of the companions they meet with each other, they wouldn't depart from each other until and unless they mutually recite this surah to each other, and then they greet each other and then they depart. So this is the importance of this surah. Why they do this? Because the whole message for the salvation of a person, that it has a reminder for us that whenever we meet, we remind each other that this we have to do in our lives. Have a belief, good deeds, and have to do the preaching or the teaching of the truth, reality that we believe in, and if we face any difficulty, we have to be patient. We have to be steadfast. So this basic message, whenever they meet, they mutually, recite with each other this surah, then they say Assalamu alaikum, greet each other, and then they depart from each other. So this was the tradition of the companions of the Holy Prophet. To see the significance of this surah, we in Islam have 4 schools of thoughts, and one of them is called Imam Shafi, whose jurisprudence, the teachings of the basic jurisprudence concepts of Islam is called Imam Shafi. What he said about the importance of this surah, according to his saying, he said, if the people were to ponder, mean if they have to reflect, if they have to have a deep understanding over this chapter, this surah alone, it would be sufficient for their guidance. If nothing else revealed in the Holy Quran, only the surah, even then the surah will be sufficient for their guidance. Because the whole message what the Muslims, the humanity is given by the Holy Quran actually is contained in this surah that is spread over the whole Holy Quran. Another saying is, if nothing else would have been revealed in this glorious Quran except this surah, then the surah would have been sufficient for man's guidance. And when we do some understanding about the Quran, this is something technical point, but I just want to touch it briefly. There are two levels of understanding of the people, and there are two ways to reflect over the Holy Quran or to have an understanding or the ponder over the Quran. They are called, the first one is called Tazakkur bil Quran. Tazakkur bil Quran means that the real lesson, the actual message that is contained in this Holy Quran, it's very obvious, very apparent for even a layman. If you want to get a guidance or a simple advice, what it teaches us Quran, everyone just can have a simple translation of the Quran, even he doesn't know the language, then he can understand that this message is very simple and it is beneficial for him or her, and he can grasp it very easily. This is called the easiness of the Holy Quran. We call it Sahl Mumtana, means it's very easy, it's very convenient even for a layman to understand. This is a very primary level of understanding. This is called Tazakkur bil Quran. And then another level of understanding is called Tadabbur al-Quran. Tadabbur in Arabic means have a deep understanding. For example, you might know in the medical sciences, one is just MBBS doctor, just a general practitioner. He just know the simple, symptoms of diseases and then just prescribe something in general. But there are some specialists, some experts who have spent their whole or entire life in searching even on the eye. Ophthalmologist, heart specialist. He is specialized in some special aspect of the medical science. So on the same analogy, in Islam there are some scholars who have spent their whole lives for reflecting and pondering over the message of the Holy Quran. And then they go deep into the understanding of the Holy Quran, and then they come up with some of the explanations of the Holy Quran. Those kind of people are called mufassir, mean those people who have put the explanatory notes of the teachings of the Holy Quran. This is a very difficult task. Every simple man or a layman or a general people cannot have this kind of understanding, as I gave you the example. So some people have their area of specialization. So those people actually, they spend their whole lives for understanding the message of the Holy Quran. And after that, even they cannot claim that we have, grasped the whole message to some extent even. So this is a very difficult level and very difficult task. And when you go through this, you have to have a specialization in this special field. Once again, as a reminder, we see that translation, Wal-Asr, by the time, Innal insana lafi khusr, indeed, of course, verily, then in Arabic you have to emphasize on something, then you put the word inna, and then it is verily, means of course, indeed, means the message that is going ahead is very important. So all human beings are in total loss or total destruction. And then the exception from this total loss or total destruction is explained here. Who have achieved faith, have performed righteous deeds, means good deeds, and have emphasized to each other, means they mutually teach or preach what? Teaching of truth. Truth, a reality that they have understood, and the value of patience, mean the constancy that if they feel some difficulty by preaching this truth or reality, they should not retreat, they should not go back, they should stand there with patience. Be a man of principle, be a man of words. If you say something, then you have to prove it, that okay, if you feel any difficulties, no problem, but I am still there to convey the message of their truth or reality. Now we do some basic analysis of the translation. The first verse that you see is only consists of one word, Wal-Asr. This is actually an Arabic word. So this, if you see the first among these three verses, the first verse is just only one word only, Wal-Asr. What is this? Why Arabic means we take it when you take an oath, when you pledge something, when you swear on something, that I take an oath, I pledge something, means that you make somebody witness on this, that what you are going to say, it's very important, and you take it as an oath, as a pledge, and somebody witnesses. While us, this age, I mean in this we are living, the time, by the token of time, that passes very quickly, very swiftly, very fast. And then the second verse, that is Innal insana lafi khusr. It describes a general rule. What does that general rule mean? The whole humanity, the whole mankind actually is in a total loss or destruction. So this is a general. We face many difficulties in our day-to-day life. Even a poor man, even a rich person, even a gatekeeper, even a manager, even a general manager, president of the country, president of America, even chief executive. Everybody have their own difficulties and problem in his or her life. The level of this, difficulties and problem may be different from each other. Some psychological problem, some financial problem, some may be some kind of illness, or maybe some kind of another destruction or loss in his or her life. So this is very common for everybody. And then the third one actually is an exceptional case from this rule that is explained here, that all humanity or all mankind is in total loss or destruction. And what is that general rule? Then if we put together this first verse, is an oath, then second one is a general rule that all people are in total loss, and the third one is an exceptional case from this general rule, then it becomes a very simple statement. What does that means? By the token of time. This time, all human beings, all humanity is in total loss, except those people who have faith, who do righteous deeds, who have preaching or teaching of the truth and reality, and if they face difficulty by conveying this message, then they steadfast. So now we just do the comparison of the criteria of the success and the failure. If we took it as a worldly, in this world, not in the life hereafter, then we have simply, in general, we have this criteria. If somebody has a lot of money, he has a property, he has a status in the society, he got the prestige, honor, he has the popularity, fame, and he has maybe the worldly power that he holds in, maybe the political power. He is the head of the state, he is the head of his or her institution, something like that. Everybody wants to grasp the power. So these are basically some of those components or some of those areas that I just mentioned, that these kind of the areas where somebody wants to be successful if he has any of these things in his or her life. But if we compare this to the life hereafter criteria that the Quran describes, is entirely different from this criteria. This is this simple criteria of the Quranic criteria of success and the salvation. What is that? The first one, on the top, foremost, faith, belief, firm belief, and then righteous deeds, good deeds. And the third one is exhortation to this reality or truth, what he believes in. And the fourth one is exhortation to the patience by conveying this message, whatever the difficulties or the problem he faces. This is the criteria, Quranic criteria of success or salvation. What actually we have to do? We have to change our criteria of success and failure. To utter from this tongue or from this mouth that I believe in is very simple. It's just a word when we say, I believe in God, and I believe that Muhammad is the prophet of his messenger, and Muhammad is the prophet of God, is the messenger of God. It's very simple, very easy to say, to utter these words from someone's tongue. But its reality, what it really means, and what are the requirements after saying this that we have to fulfill is very difficult. We human beings actually influenced by the external environment. We have the comfort or the easiness, prosperity, honor, fame, prestige, worldly power, these things actually attract us, and we are influenced by these kind of things. It's very natural, and we actually push our capabilities and our abilities to gain or attain all these kind of things. But what we have to do, that we forget the distinguish between the right and wrong, legal and illegal, the good and the bad. We want to attain or achieve all these kind of things, but we don't see if by achieving or gaining these kind of things, if we have to adopt some legal way or illegal way, fair means or unfair means, by hook or by crook, whatsoever is the way we want to achieve. But a believer, he sees that, is this a path described that is in the Holy Book and in the life of the Prophet Muhammad? Is it allowed or not allowed? He will follow this aspect, and then whatever he gains, he said, this is the success. This is the path of his salvation. Not just to gain the power, just to gain the money by hook or by crook. No. Choose the path that is mentioned according to your belief, that you have firm belief in, then no problem. So we have to change these standards and then these criteria of success and failure. And then we need a great transformation, a big change, deeply rooted in our soul and heart. That the point of view of the companions of the Holy Prophet. Worldly achievements are insignificant as compared to the achievement of Allah's pleasure and of the Holy Prophet. If we look at the lives of the companions of the Holy Prophets, when they say, Samena wa Atana, when they listen the message from the Holy Prophet, the oneness of God, and then their lives entirely changed. What the transformation came, or the change came in their lives? The criteria was changed, not this life, the life hereafter. Whenever you do something, you put this concept in your mind, that I have to be held answerable, I have to be accountable, I will be answerable what I have done in this life on the day of judgment. Then the whole process of your thinking and whole process of your actions entirely change. It will give a very vital change in your ideas, in your actions. Some people might think that among these four postulates or points that I have mentioned, the 4 points of the salvation are the success: faith, righteous deeds, mutual exhortation to truth, and mutual exhortation to patience. Maybe one of them, if we follow, then it's sufficient. No. All these 4 components of your belief are important. If you skip any of these, then your salvation may address in danger. Give you an example. If you are sick and you go to a doctor, and doctor might prescribe some medicine for you, and there are maybe 4 elements or 4 components of the medicine, different kind of medicine. And if you don't take the advice of the doctor, and then you by your own skip 1 or 2 from this prescription and just take randomly 1 or 2 medicine, and rest you skip, do you think that it will have the effect that how the doctor had prescribed? Then the result, the consequence is not on the part of the doctor and you. Maybe the 4 components are interrelated, they are inseparable, indispensable from each other. All these 4 must have contained, it's an organic whole. Organic whole. You cannot separate it, it's together. In this current situation, what's the general attitude of the Muslim Ummah? They mostly, in general, inactivity in our actions and deeds, stagnation, escapism, and sloth. And what we have to change these kind of our conditions of this situation, we have to change by these: affirmation and declaration of faith. And the second, our righteous deeds is essential for our salvation. And the third one, we invite other peoples to accept this truth and reality. And the fourth one is remaining steadfast in the face of hardship and difficulties if we come across during this process. For example, if we see the rational realization between these four components, or these four, postulates, then it requires that you have to be a man of principle. Means whatever you say, whatever you believe in, then you have to prove it. In English, it's a very famous saying that an ounce of practical example is better than millions of preachments. And another saying in English, you might heard that the action speaks louder than the words. Not only just utterance of the words from your mouth or tongue, no, but then you have to prove by your actions what you are saying, what you believe in. It should reflect from your whole body, from your actions, from what your behavior, your man-to-man contact, your behavior to God, your behavior with the family members, your relatives, your friends, your colleagues, your workmates. You should reflect your faith, what you believe in, with your actions, with your deeds. That is why the word used in this chapter is called "Illa lazina amanu wa amilu salih." Just it's connected to that. After faith, second the point is amilu salihat, means righteous deeds, good deeds. And in Arabic, the word amal is not for a simple action only without thinking and without any belief. That is what called fail. Fail means anything that you do without even thinking and you believe in or not believe in. But amal, the word amal, in Arabic, these both words are used in Arabic for to do something. But this word is used for any kind of action without you believe in or you don't believe in or without any understanding. But this word amal is only applicable to them when you believe in something and you act according to that belief with a conviction. So, illa allazina amanu wa amilu salihat. All the humanity is in total loss or destruction, but then there is an exception. Not those people who believe in what? God. Illa allazina amanu, who have faith, belief, and then they do the righteous deed according to the belief that they possess. And it's a categorical emphasis on this chapter, that after mentioning the total loss or destruction of the humanity, then it put emphasis on these four postulates of those 4 points. Then you can be on the way or the path of salvation. Okay, now we go to the word by word, the explanation or the translation, simple, and then the analysis of this verse after this brief introduction. The word asr that I mentioned here, wal asr. Asr actually is not only a time, it is what? It's a period of time which passes very quickly and very fast. And asr also converts the sweep of time, its swift flow. Mean it's fast, and it's not its broken time, it's a serial time together. Since Adam till this time, it's going very rapidly, very fast, and this time has seen the up and fall of the nations, rise and fall of the nations. So this time actually is the witness of all these rise and fall of the nations. So by taking the oath or pledge of this word in Arabic, wal asr, is mentioning this reality that this time is a witness which is passing very quickly in our lives about the total destruction of the loss of the people, but then the latter